Hello and welcome to another episode of the Catcast. Yeah, it's been a while. Um, a lot happened. Like a lot happened in the past. Um, as may noticed, I had a very big break from streaming and everything. Even when I did streams, it was not a lot and only some some days. And yeah, I basically just overall wanted to talk about what happened and what my mental state was, because I realized a lot of things in a time. Because as in my last podcast I think I mentioned that I will be playing the EC finals and the playoffs of the Prime League. And that happened. I played the Prime League promotion games from Division 4 to Division 3, League 4 to League 3. And there we lost, so we didn't promote. But at the EEC, the European, the EQ Esports Cup, which is the European championship of the female and non-binary scene, they are actually won. So I'm basically we won the European Championship, which is crazy. Thinking about fucking winning the entire thing is so crazy. Oh my god, it's so insane. But yeah, basically that happened, and I struggled. I struggled a lot. Obviously, I didn't had a lot of time to stream because we were streaming every single day. Then we had officials all the time. I traveled to Cologne to play on stage there. Then after that, before that, I even got Corona, so I wasn't even able to talk for 2 weeks. But yeah, overall, this was one of the issues. Time, obviously, but the other thing was hey, I'm hella burnt out. I'm fucking burnt out. Cause you must imagine, I'm a little bit mentally ill. So I had the decision to, let's play at 2 teams at the same time. I did it for 1.5 years now, where I was always playing at NNO, but Mina playing at Solaris, at C-Play, at DKB. I always had one team where we scrimmed 3 to 4 times in a week, and then I still had NNO. And where we also wanted to scrim 3 times a week. It was very rare to have 1 to 2 weeks off, on which I then just not even 1 to 2 weeks off. It's very, very generous to say. There were a lot of there were maybe in that span of a time max in 1.5 years 1 week or 2 weeks where I had legit time. But mostly in those weeks where I had time, I played tryouts for something else. So I was always filled with to the brim. And then I had I still can remember 4 months ago, I had 1 day off after the NNO Cup, which also was an extra team. So I played at 3 teams at the same time, where then I had 1 day off and I was saying, okay, I need to do 24-hour stream, else my stream just doesn't really develop the way I want to, right? So even at the off days, I were torching me through 24-hour streams. And this came to the point where I had 6 scrims a week, and then always the one official at the weekend. So I had I woke up, I was fucking exhausted, cause I also have struggles with mental issues, so it was very hard for me to get out of bed. Then I was trying just to get fit, and then basically already scrimming, or if I managed to get 1 to 2 solo queue games, and it was insane for me. But then straight up jumping into the scrims, and this for weeks and weeks on end without a break. I know, there was actually recently 4 weeks in a row where I had not a single day a break, and that went really to the mental. And yeah, it was just very hard for me to I performed good, but this was the basically only thing I could do at a day. And then my stream also just struggled. Before, in one of those 1.5 years, at the beginning, it was easy possible because I had a lot of fun doing it. I felt like I was reaching my limit. But recently, my mental was like, okay, if I want to, like, I got so much competitive experience recently, and I'm very good right now, like in of the feeling, but I can't really show it to anyone except like of my competitive skinny view, because I didn't have time to play solo queue. I didn't have time to play like solo queue because people who are not like very familiar with the competitive scene, it's like solo queue is like your personal ranking that you can only achieve if you play matchmaking solo, and it, you mainly like you obviously can promote with your teams, for example, the Prime League, but besides that, you basically need to try out in higher teams, and 90% or like 59%, you are only able to get into higher teams if you have higher elo, if you have a higher matchmaking rank. And for me, it was like I was getting better, 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 better. I won the Equi Esports Cup. We very closely didn't manage to promote. Like, you also need to be aware that promoting is way harder than just joining a higher team. And it was always like, for me, I was getting so much better in like 1 to 2 years, but I had done zero progress, like outside of like watching at my competitive thing. Like, for me, I knew I did a lot of progress and it went very well, but outside I only see, okay, cool. Now she is first place in a league that doesn't get respected outside of the league. Because this is also like one of the issues. The Equi Esports Cup is very cool and all, but it's, in my opinion, was I very quickly reached my limits in it, because you have the competition is very weird, because like for every role, it obviously got better. It got better in the years. Like 3-4 years ago, it was horrendously bad, or like 2 to 3. But now it's like still ADCs are by far the highest ranks, and then every single role is like very split up with the ranks. So teams are even unbalanced. So the competition, as it is very weird, and people don't really know how to compare to different scenes. Because as I already talked about it, it's like in different interviews, it's like either a female non-binary team is able to easily smack a mixed team, or they get easily smacked. Because either your lanes that are underrepresented in the scene get gapped like individually, or the roles that are highly good, highly overrepresented gap, right? Like, it's either bot lane gaps from the female non-binary scene because they're just way better than the entire enemy average, or the exact opposite happens, like the other part of the team gets gapped. So it's always like you either get hard stomped, or you basically have a very easy game if you compare to like mixed teams, where in the female non-binary scene, it's all obviously basically the same. And for me, it's like, okay, like for other leagues, it's very hard to compare and see if someone's good or something's not good. And then there are like a lot of other things where these people have like disadvantages with like systematic discrimination, all of that. But that's whatever right now, right? That's whatever. For me, it's just basically I got the scene, and it feels like, especially to the end, I could only like focus on improving my team, because I had the feeling I got like I could obviously get so much better that I just had some every single lane, but for me it was like I was basically always getting my leads. I was always playing solid. My team fighting was always like solid. I was like basically above, or at least even with every single one. And what I really prefer is that I'm getting stomped in scrims. I'm getting punished permanently. I just want to like get a lot of impact, like be basically the losing part of the team, so I can like improve very big on it. And this all was like very hard for me to achieve, like in the past weeks, past months, because obviously I kind of like, especially if you compare it to matchmaking solo queue, I was basically always at the top, even though I never had the feeling that I played a lot. Like, I was not always first place, I'm like in comparison to my roles, but when I played, I was always very quickly at the top, like at least top 3 or something. And this for me is like, I have the feeling that I'm like not able, was not able to push myself like a lot, because especially I had some like, I didn't have the like power and dedication, because I was like having only time to like, I had almost like zero time at all, and then like have this like this disconnection also from the team, because it's very hard like to like, okay, I don't want to like sound toxic or anything, like it was just for me so that I at that moment I was like struggling to like connect very well with my teammates, because it was like very overwhelming, very hard, everything. And yeah, it's just very hard to explain. I just would say it's very hard for me to like drive myself further and like try to improve. It's just frustrating to try to improve and get better if you have such so many like disconnections between the teams, right? And between often enemies. Like it was all just chaos. So the first year I was easily able to manage that, because I was like at the beginning. But now getting more experience and getting more feeling on how everything should work and can work, I over the time didn't enjoy it as much, right? I didn't enjoy it. And then this frustration of the one team, where I was like, okay, we at the end we won. I think everyone did an insanely good job, and I'm very proud of my team. But at the end, I wasn't able to push myself as far as I would have loved to, right? And this very, 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 very bothered me a lot, because I was like always grinding. This was the only thing I could do, and like the year ago, it went very well. I could like get a lot of progress within the team through like this year, but at the end it just kind of stopped, and I got frustrated and frustrated and frustrated. It felt like an endless spiral of me trying to implement stuff, like me trying to find new ways, and it just not working, like just not, like it just didn't fit as it was before. It was not like we didn't play good and we underperformed or something. We fucking won the entire thing. But it was like I didn't really could contribute as much as I would have loved to. Even though I developed myself a lot, and it was just the feeling that I hit the ceiling on that. And this is like, this is the biggest thing that depresses me the most. If I do something and I don't have the feeling to improve, to get better, and being stuck, have the feeling of hitting my ceiling. This is like the worst thing that could happen. So it was basically, I was playing, like it was in one team and then it transferred to the other team. So I'd basically 7 times a week scrims or I like training, and then every single day I was like, what's even the point? Like I try hard, it didn't work, but I didn't have like the drive as I had before, and this just really fucking depressed me. And then having no break, so I couldn't really refocus, rethink how the way I approach it. So I was like endless doing stuff that I didn't like. Didn't have fun, and this was a point where I got even more depressed. Like I was so fucking depressed, and I was very burnt out, because I was basically doing my dream, but I didn't have fun while doing it. And I had always the feeling like I prioritized stuff that was like prioritized different things. Like, and not different things, like I could have prioritized other things that would have helped me in a career way more than in that moment. I wouldn't say like it just felt that way. Like playing these all of those years in competitive helped me get so much experience, and I'm like personally and player, in my opinion, so much more developed as a player in a team. Like I know so much more to how to bring your team to victory, how to like structure everything, how to handle the game, and I think I just got so many experiences, and I just want to prove, like, I want to show it. I want to prove myself. And this is something I really, 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 really missed. And really just missed the feeling of grinding, missed the feeling of getting punched in the face and then trying to work from that. And then after like the split ended and I had a break, it was a little weird because first up I was like playing months on months without a break, and then my stupid ass thought, okay, maybe it's a good idea to treat my vacation with watching League every single day. I was basically going to Munich for 5 days, 3 to 5 days, to watch League of Legends, even though I was fucking burnt out of League of Legends. I couldn't see the game anymore because I didn't have fun anymore. And then I was just at the arena looking at the game. Obviously, it was very fucking cool to see everything and getting the hype in and all of that. But I really felt that I needed a break from the game generally. And this also probably shifted into a lot of moods because normally I would love to meet every single one, and it makes a lot of fun just to meet all of you and talk with everyone, and especially meet also people out of the scene. But holy shit, at some days it was just for me, I am so fucking exhausted. I don't know what to do. I would just love to go back into my hotel and sleep all day. And this really, like, all of these things really taught me a lesson, because, like, I always thought about, yeah, I really, like, uh, like, taking real breaks is so important. It's crazy. Like, now that I'm back from LEC and everything, and I just took, like, some days to reevaluate what I'm doing and finding like finally having like a direction which I want to go feels so fucking good, because now in my mind it's like I only want to play one team, so I have the rest of the time to focus on solo queue, because I think if I want to improve and reach my goals, I obviously need to camp in solo queue. So I had now a lot of days where I could fully focus on solo queue, and I had so much more fun playing the game. Like, it's crazy. It was feeling so refreshing. And now I got people surrounding me that are also like working, like actually trying to always reach new heights. And this also like pushed me back in the person that I was before. Like, I kind of lost my identity in those past months, and now like surrounding me with new people and also like reevaluating how I approach everything just helped me so much more. And now the awesome thing is I have fun again. Like, I have fun again. I noticed when I went back, and I actually had a fucking mental breakdown on stream. Like, it was so bad to the point where I was like, I forced myself to get better, get better, get better. And I was at like, in my brain, it was like, I played so long competitive now, and I didn't spend zero time at solo queue, and I think I'm just so fucking good right now and just can improve. Like, I can just play to climb, and I just need to play. Basically, I need to play to climb. And then I had a fucking 6 losing streak. I had 6-game losing streak. I was like thinking, I was telling to myself, if I just play the game, I will climb and will get like finally the goals that I want to, because I have time now. But then I set so many how's it called? So many unlogical, like not unlogical, how's it called? Like some expectations on myself that were like not reachable. Like I underestimated a lot of things. I went it to the wrong way. I just unhealthy expectations on myself. Just thinking, okay, I am so good now, and I can just do it. I was basically running against the wall, just hoping it would work. Even though, like, the point, like, the thing that made me so much better was just always trying to find new ways on how to improve, how to get better. And this just very, 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 very just very broke me. Like it fucking broke me because I was streaming and just thinking, okay, I can play and I will improve, and then I just lost and lost and lost and lost. And some of like I had always like the feeling of, okay, legit, my like I just get run down. I can't do anything better. Like I can't deny that many of the games were very unlucky, but I just watched back at my replays when I had like a cool head again and watched some videos about like tilt and all of that, and I just saw, okay, oh my god, I was such an like, even though the games were unlucky, I was in a spiral where I did so many things wrong that I normally do right because I was focusing on something unhealthy. And all of those things just like made me realize something. It is so important to really know and evaluate what is good for you and what you want to do. Because if you do something or commit to something where you don't even know how much this benefits you in the future, it can be very unhealthy at the long time. Like, it's not that you shouldn't try to like do things. I'm so grateful, and I think this was the best decision that I ever did, joining those teams. But at a certain amount of time, you need to evaluate, you need to know how much does this now help me and how much does this help me to develop. Like, it is crazy that like it's just a moment where you in the moment need to say to yourself, okay, now it is maybe not the best thing like to focus on that and maybe take a break, or maybe to try to reevaluate the things. It doesn't mean you need to drop all of the things. It just means to go, just think about everything critically again. That's the same thing with like setting yourself goals and trying to achieve them. Like with solo queue, it's like my goal is to climb the ranks, to have better chances in my career going forward. But the way you need to, you really need to critically think in what mindset are you and how can you achieve those things. Because always saying to yourself, I need to achieve it, I need to achieve it. Like, challenger is that thing that I need to achieve. Like, for example, compared with like school, during school, like grades in my country is like 1 is the best, 2 is the 2 is the second best, like 1 is the best, 6 is the worst. So I'm just gonna do it like that. If you're always thinking about I need to reach 1, I need to reach the 1, I need to reach the 1, then it gets very into your mind, because you struggle. You don't really know how to achieve it. You just do everything that you can. And if you, for example, learn, like if you open your book and say, okay, if I spend 3 hours a day just reading through my book, I will achieve the 1. And you do that for like 1 to 2 weeks. You think you get the 1, but then you get a 4 or a 3. And then you're like, what the fuck is my life? I just spent every single day 3 hours on getting the 1, reading the book, and it did not work. This is like very toxic. Instead of saying, okay, 1 is a very high goal, but how can I achieve that? Like, thinking about, okay, right now I'm always stuck at a 4. How can I like go on with learning that I can just get better and maybe reach a 3, then a 2, then a 1. Just thinking about how can I achieve it. Like, you obviously want to achieve it if you always read the book. You need to think about this, like think how can you like piece up the learning process that you can use the time efficiently. For example, you have like, I don't know, you have 1 week where you fully focus on those things, then like write down some ways of learning. Like this is the thing. You always need to find a way that helps you the most. Like, every human is different and every human can learn different. And for me, it's just helped a lot to just create distance to things that I'm doing. Like, after every single game, I was just thinking about, okay, now we are like, how did I even come in the situation where I fell behind? And normally I just think, okay, my support can, like, I don't know, just roamed to mid lane and I got dived. This is like, obviously you think about like this is the breaking point, but if you just look at your replay and see, okay, the first few minutes, I maybe like pushed the wave wrong. Like, you can just go back from the point. At this point, I got tower dived, and then you can skip before that. Okay, here maybe I did a bad reset, or maybe here I pushed the wave wrong. Here maybe I did too much trades, and it's just always like finding the root cause of the problem is always like their way on how you can get better at everything. It's just not, don't orientate yourself at goals and don't like try to brute force everything. Just sometimes at your life, think about what you are doing now. How does this affect you mentally? And how could you maybe find a way that you enjoy it more? Like, there are many different things where you yourself can drive yourself crazy with always like getting into habits that are just bad and don't really help you reach your goal. But you also can just think about what can you do to help me in a long time and help me get straight in a thought process. It's always just trying to find a moment where you get yourself in a bad bad habit, in a bad thinking mindset, and try to help yourself out of it. This is like what I miss the most of all of those months, years, cause after a certain point, I did things that were maybe not the right way of processing my career, and also getting into like a mental state of, hey, I don't get progress, I'm just always sticking at my goals and getting frustrated, and then you get burnout, you get hella depressed, you are able to work even less than you would have loved to and even planned to it before. You just always get like, you go into a game and are already depressed, even though nothing happened, and this should be like the thing you love to. Because always reminding yourself of when is it fun to play the game, when is it fun to do this, and what is like the right way of doing things and working things, and how to achieve of those things. Like, often just think about how you can do this and try to have an open conversation with yourself. Helps a lot. And this is which me helped a lot. And yeah, right now I'm like back in the swing of things, like trying to get. I obviously am by far not like mentally. It's a point where I'm like Buddha and like healthy again with like my way of thinking, but like thinking about all of the things that happened and how I should approach them in the future just helped me right now to get into a better direction of how to approach everything in the future. And I already have the feeling that everything will work so much better than I like it never did, right? Like, I know I'm not there yet where I wanna be, especially like on how I approach everything, but I'm on the right way, and I think it will only go up from here. But yeah, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I think this was one of the. I really noticed that I'm like not in the swing of things of doing podcasts, because it's half an hour where I just talked a bunch of confusing shit. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. Oh my god, Hannah.